Welcome to On the Vineyard, a weekly podcast from the Vineyard Gazette Media Group on Martha's Vineyard. I'm publisher Monica Brady-Meyerov. We're so glad you're here. On the Vineyard is sponsored by Crane Appliance. It's been another busy week with forums, festivals, shows, and parties. You're never without something to do in August. It can be hard for visitors to find time to even go to the beach, or so they tell me, because as an islander, I don't rush to the beach when it's this crowded. Coming up, the agricultural fair starts this week.
Folks might realize when they walk in that there will be a Ferris wheel missing, and that is due...
What?
Yes.
More on that later. I might not go to the beach, but I do go to a lot of other events. Last weekend, I wandered around the first ever MV Vibe Fest in Waubun Park, Oak Bluffs. The event brought together vendors, food, and of course, live music.
Those are just $25. Those are the tops. Yeah.
The organizers said the event highlights the history and role of the Black community on the island. It also had some great artisan booths and, of course, good vibes. What also always has great music is the Sunday service at Union Chapel. Every week, the guest sermon is a lesson in spirituality, politics, and social justice. During the week, also at Union Chapel, I attended two forums. One put on by the African American Policy Forum that invited 5 Black attorneys general from around the country, including New York's Letitia James. They all spoke about what it's like to have a target on their backs during this administration. James said she's fighting federal downsizing because too many women of color are losing their jobs. The other event was part of the Charles Ogletree Public Forum and looked at how journalism and facts are under attack by the Trump administration. It featured 5 hugely talented Black journalists, including ABC anchor Lindsay Davis. These kind of important, timely conversations with Black leaders in their field are happening all over the Vineyard in August, and many of them are free. That's the sound of the historic press in the Vineyard Gazette offices in Edgartown printing the paper. That means it's time to go upstairs to the newsroom and check in with Bill Level, the editor-in-chief and the reporters on this week's news.
Well, it is August on the Vineyard, and events are everywhere and all the time. But the granddaddy of all events is coming up this week, starting on Thursday. It is the Agricultural Fair held in West Tisbury on the Agricultural Hall grounds. Gwen Skiles went for a deep dive to find out what would be the same and some things that will be different this year.
Yes. Hi, Bill. It is time. Lots of people say the agricultural fair marks the end of summer with lots of festivities. I like to hold on to summer a bit longer, but I'm just so excited. It's just such a beautiful time when the community really is on a spotlight, and a lot of island farmers are happy to share the best goods that they have from this year.
Yeah, it is amazing. It's a 4-day event. It comes at the end of August, and it really is the whole island. The visitors, the year-rounders, they just kind of go bananas for it. I do too, I admit. So what is the big difference this year?
Yep. So folks might realize when they walk in that there will be a Ferris wheel missing, and that is due...
What?
Yes. That is due to a change in carnival providers. So we've had Cushing Amusements for the past 50 years, but their contract was up and there was a lot of logistical issues. And so it ended up being Fiesta Shows, which actually helped provide carnival services in the 60s. But they have other fairs going on, and so the Ferris wheel will be missing this year.
But these folks are very experienced. They do a lot of big stuff off island, and I do find it fascinating that, yeah, they were here in the 60s. So they're coming back, and they're excited to come back. Are any new things happening this year?
Oh, yes. There's lots of new things. I was excited to hear that there will be a golf cart shuttle. It's going to be called the Fair Mover with 3 O's.
Let's say that again.
Mover.
Thank you.
And that will be for folks with low mobility to just kind of help people travel around the fair. And then there will also be some new events. There is a rubber chicken toss this year, much like the women's skillet toss, but this time it's for all genders.
I love that they expanded the tossing so that it just doesn't, it's not just women, but it's still just women for the skillet toss? I just want to drill down on that one for a bit.
Yes, it will just be women, and there are age categories for that.
And we've talked about it in the office. I guess you can go overhand, you could underhand, you could kind of do a discus kind of throw. Is that the same with the chicken toss?
I think it just, you throw it and it squeaks.
Yeah. It is the first year. We'll find out. What else to know? I think there's some new food, too.
Yes, there will be a Brazilian churrasco, as well as the strawberry shortcake will be back. I was excited to hear that.
And then the traditional burgers and everything else. One of the things I love during the next week, even before the fair starts, is seeing the fairgrounds start to build up as more rides come in. So that's something we can see, and some of the workers come in. But behind the scenes, lots of stuff is going on as they prepare for the judging of the jams, the jellies, all the produce.
Yeah, so I think that's one of the most special parts about the fair is the entry hall where people compete for biggest tomato or best jam. I think that's really when the community has a spotlight. And there are new entry deadlines this year.
All right. Well, thanks so much, Gwen. So the fair starts this Thursday, 10 a.m. We will see you there.
See you there.
Well, the buzz started back in June about the 50th anniversary of the airing of Jaws, the huge blockbuster that really put the Vineyard on the map and started Steven Spielberg's career. Now, here toward the end of the summer, we have another fun event. It's a documentary that really focuses on Craig Kingsbury, who was the model for Quint in the movie. Katrina Liu did the story this week, and managing editor Ethan Genter is here to tell us a little bit about that story.
Hey, Bill. So, yeah, we have Craig Kingsbury, who, if a lot of Islanders probably do know, he died in 2002. But he has cuts kind of a Paul Bunyan-esque figure here on the island. A lot of people know him for not wearing shoes, driving his ox around the island. He was a farmer and a fisherman. And so this movie is called Farmer and the Shark, and it's about his role in Jaws, both on camera and off camera. Like you said, he served as kind of the swamp Yankee model for Robert Shaw, kind of a Hollywood refined actor and an Englishman who is obviously very different from what he's used to. So I kind of looked into that and his role as Ben Gardner, the fisherman who is one of the victims of the shark.
Yeah, it's sort of that, as legend has it, Robert Shaw was trying to figure out the character, just wasn't getting it, and then Kingsbury walks by swearing and screaming up a thing, and Spielberg says, that guy, you follow that guy for the next week, and that's who I want you to be.
Yeah, and kind of parlayed into Craig having a speaking role in this film. He plays, a lot of people probably know the scene where they go out and hunt, all the townies go out and hunting for the shark. He's on the boat, and his head is the one that pops out from the hull of another boat while they're diving.
What many say may be the best jump scare in a movie full of jump scares.
Yeah, but Craig, like you said, he was a rum runner, he was a prize fighter, he had this very varied life. Can't really imagine nowadays knowing all of these different jargons and phrases. A lot of the idioms and kind of mannerisms of Craig Kingsbury made it into the Quint character, and him and Shaw apparently got really on afterwards after he had a little hesitancy about working with Hollywood actors.
Fun. Where's the screening taking place?
It's going to be at Martha's Vineyard Museum. I believe it's on the August 19th. I think it's the premiere of this documentary, and I think it's going to be a really exciting event. It's done by a filmmaker who has done deep dives into the horror genre. He did a movie on it and a movie on a snapping turtle that terrorized a town, the film that actually never got made, but he did a documentary about that.
I love that. The film didn't get made, but the documentary did. And, terrorizing snapping turtle, that is sort of a fearsome beast. Thanks so much, Ethan. All right, that's all for this week, so you can just sort of rest up to get prepared for the fair. Also, Illumination is on Wednesday, and the Oak Bluffs Fireworks is on Friday. Big week. Enjoy, everyone.
You can read more about these stories at vineyardgazette.com or sign up for our bi-weekly newsletter, The Broadsheet, and we'll deliver the news to your inbox. Now, so much is happening this coming week. It's Illumination Night on Wednesday night in Oak Bluffs. That is something so many people look forward to every year. It's truly magical. And then the agricultural fair starts on Thursday, so make sure to plan your week around these cherished events. And in addition to these, there's a panel on Tuesday about the role of interfaith organizing in the age of authoritarianism. It's at the Old Whaling Church and is free and hosted by the Movement for Black Lives Matter on Martha's Vineyard. And don't forget to leave time for the arts. The Dance Theater of Harlem is back on the island, and starting next week through August 23rd, they'll have a variety of classes and performances. And the Boston Lyric Opera is at the Old Whaling Church on Sunday for a special performance. This event is a collaboration with the Martha's Vineyard Chamber Music Society and will feature opera and musical theater selections. Also, Cook the Vineyard newsletter is hosting a unique tasting event on August 27th, centered around the recipes in Julia Blanter's new cookbook, The Martha's Vineyard Cookbook. You'll meet the editor of Cook the Vineyard, Susie Middleton, and the cookbook author. You can find tickets at calendar.vineyardgazette.com. This Saturday, tick experts will hold a conference about tick-related illnesses, prevention strategies, and the latest research. We've had a lot of scary tick stories recently, so I want to leave you with some knowledge about ticks because we all want to avoid tick bites and the illnesses they can cause. Patrick Roden Reynolds, the island's foremost tick expert, says it's important to wear closed-toed shoes and strong repellent on your feet and legs.
All the ticks should be coming from the ground up. Most of them, especially the smaller the tick, like there's different life stages of ticks, so the nymph and larvae, like the juvenile ticks, are really getting on you at your foot or your ankle and then crawling up their body. The adult ticks can quest, where they kind of search and wait for a host. It's a behavior called questing, and they can get a couple feet off the ground, maybe knee or hip height. The ticks really shouldn't be coming out of the trees.
This audio comes from the new podcast, True Vineyard Color. If you haven't heard the show, download it now to hear thoughtful interviews with islanders about a variety of topics. True Vineyard Color and On the Vineyard podcasts are available wherever you get your podcasts, and we both appreciate followers and reviews. Our theme music is from island composer and musician Michael Hayden. Thanks to our sponsor, Crane Appliance. Even the best appliances need to be repaired from time to time. When you purchase from Crane Appliance, you get their full support and expertise should something go wrong. Crane Appliance, they call the Cape and Islands home. I'm Monica Brady-Meyerov. Thanks for joining us on The Vineyard. Talk to you next week.